All right, so this is going to be like kind of the intro video. Guys, the Club World Cup, it's on. It's crazy. I've just watched a bit of this Bayern Munich game. And look, I don't think there's any surprises with this one, all right? But this team, Auckland City, from New Zealand, they literally don't even have an expected goal. Like not even like a decibel. They have 0 shots. That's kind of the fun of this Club World Cup. Some people won't like it. I think it's something different. We're gonna just break down. There's a lot of like uncertainty, unknown with this Club World Cup. So this video is kind of just gonna be yapping about a little bit of everything. We've got our opening games last night where Inter Miami they drew 0-0. Bayern Munich is thrashing today. We actually have a crazy game at 3, which is PSG Atletico. By the time you watch this video, that game would have already happened. It's the group stages. Teams are gonna be rotating players, trying players out. But guys, as you can see, even by the Bayern Munich lineup today, these teams are taking it very seriously. Look at that squad. This is not an international friendlies. It is a glorified international friendlies. Usually we see a European team winning this competition. There's no surprises there. But we see a strong Bayern side today. And the reason for that, guys, is that many of you guys may have not known this. This is the money available for this Club World Cup, okay? The winner, this is somewhat of the values that, a finalist could be getting a good amount of money. They've said, FIFA has said that the Club World Cup winner actually can win up to $125 million if they win the final, which would, I guess, check out because, as you can see, you will get additional money per round. So if the team continues to go, semifinalist makes $21 million just for getting into that spot. The finalists both of them will get $30 million, and then the winner gets $40 million. It's actually a pretty crazy prize pool. So yeah, I mean, I think some people didn't really know that. It looks like they've got $1 billion in prize money for 32 participating clubs. So FIFA definitely knows how to bring in the money. And I kind of wanted to just intro it because we really haven't done a video. So in Group A, this group is really hard to predict. I mean, I watched the game last night. We've got Al Ahly, Inter Miami, FC Porto, who's a respectable side, and Palmeiras as well. Palmeiras is a good Brazilian team. So that 6 p.m. game as well today is going to be pretty good. In Group B, you've got Atletico Madrid, Botafogo, the Brazilian team. You've got PSG, and you got Seattle Sounders. So obviously in that group, we do expect PSG and Atletico to come out in that group. We've got Bayern Munich, Benfica, Boca Juniors, and Auckland City. Auckland City, they actually have the worst odds at this tournament. They have like the all-time worst odds ever. It makes sense. They're losing 8-0 to Bayern, which, to be honest, guys, I feel like I kind of see that as a positive. I thought that game could have been 15 or 20-0 today. They'll probably end up losing 9 or 10 when it's over. I've just turned it off. Group D, you've got Chelsea, Esperance, Flamengo, LAFC. This one, you'd expect Chelsea to have no issues in this group. The second place team, that's the question mark. I expect maybe Flamengo, but we'll see. LAFC is not horrible. Inter, Monterrey, River Plate, and Urawa Red Diamonds, okay? That was kind of tough to say. Monterrey could make a play there. River, you never know. That's actually a pretty good group. Inter, again, you'd expect them to come out. And the knockouts is where it's going to get really interesting for this tournament. Group F, you got Dortmund, Fluminense, Mamelodi Sundowns, and you got Ulsan. And then you got Al Ain, Juve, Man City, What You Doing, Casablanca. And then you got Al Hilal, Pachuca, Real Madrid, and Salzburg. This is quite an interesting group as well. So, yeah, when we look at, some of the matchups, we have some good ones. We have PSG Atletico. Inter Monterrey, I think, is going to surprise some people. It doesn't even have to be the big game, the big name teams like Porto Palmeiras. I think will end up being a good one. I think Boca Juniors, Benfica is going to be good. Those South American teams, they really, I'm excited to watch them because we don't always get to see them. And we've seen some of these teams. We saw Club America played Barcelona a couple years ago in a friendly. Barcelona played a lot of their players. They weren't as good as they are now, but it was close. Real Madrid, Al Hilal. Al Hilal has been one of the more successful Saudi teams. How is that one going to go? How Inter Miami, they have no defense, right? Like they don't have any defense. How will they fare against a Porto, a really good team, but not one of these elites at this tournament, like a PSG, like an Atletico Madrid? Bayern Munich, Boca Juniors is another interesting one. Flamengo, Chelsea. I mean, mark your calendars next Friday. That should be pretty good. As we scroll through, guys, there's definitely some interesting games. So, I'm excited to see just kind of the variety in teams playing in this tournament, how it lines up. And guys, not to mention, it's the summer. There's a part of me that's like, man, I feel bad for the players, but we have like 4 or 5 games of football, 4 games every single day to tune into, and a couple of them per day are going to be nice matchups, right? Like I think Al Hilal Pachuca is going to be a good one. Juve Man City. So every single day, Inter River, right? These are going to be good games. I'm definitely excited for them, and kind of where it's going to get interesting is going to be the knockouts, right? Because you're going to have a situation where you look at the knockouts, like 1A will play 2B, right? So if we go over to the table, 1A, so let's say Porto gets out at top, right? They're actually going to play probably PSG or Atletico Madrid. So that's where the knockouts could get pretty interesting, where, you look at some groups and you combine them. Let's look at like 1G versus 2H, right? So 1G, I would expect Man City or Juve, probably Man City. 2H, what if Real Madrid gets second in that group, right? They probably won't. But, you got some interesting ones. And that's where, look, you've got good enough teams in this tournament overall. You've got the European giants. You have some sleeper teams that I think outside of Europe can perform well. I think the Brazilian teams, the Argentine teams, I will always bet on those teams having a chance to pull off an upset. They have the talent. They have the potential, and even maybe one of the Mexican teams can get a result here and then, guys. Don't sleep on those teams. I don't expect any of those teams. This tournament has been, really ran by, when they do tournaments like this, European teams, but this will be, hopefully we'll see, a crazy upset. It will make for a good situation. And if all these teams are going with the lineup like Bayern Munich did, we could expect that these teams will be, debuting some of their new transfers. We're going to get to see Cherokee from Man City, Reindeers. It's going to be cool to see a lot of these guys start to get in the flow, and it may help their chemistry into the season. Now, as we look at kind of betting odds and how it looks, Real Madrid, surprisingly, is actually the most favored for this tournament. PSG is plus 450, so Real Madrid are more favored than PSG. Guys, I'll be honest, that kind of surprises me a little bit. Xabi Alonso, it's one of those where, is he going to have enough time to have this Real Madrid team looking like the Real Madrid team that we're used to watching? I don't know, but they did make some signings. We're going to get to see Trent in a Real Madrid kit. Crazy. I've already seen the selfie of him in the elevator with the team. PSG, I expect those guys are going to be flying. Are PSG going to be crazy motivated after winning a Champions League? I don't know. Maybe they just want to continue to be the best in the world. I really have no idea. A team that I actually think has a really nice chance at this tournament that I'm expecting to see do pretty well is Bayern Munich and Man City. The value of these two right there, they're not as favored. There's no clear favorite in this tournament because it's hard to predict. This is a weird tournament. It's in a whole other continent, right? It's like at a weird time. How much will these players be motivated? That I think enough, right? You look at the prize money, I think it's a lot, and I think these guys are all at the heart competitors. They're all gonna want to compete against each other. Now, are these guys looking at this trophy as it's anywhere close to important as a Champions League or Europa League? I don't know. I don't think so. But what I will tell you this, guys, right? Club World Cup, if you win this, you win the World Cup of clubs. Like, that's the thing. I think people are sleeping on it, that, it's a little weird with the way some of the teams qualify for this tournament. However, if you win this, you won the Club World Cup. Okay? Now, yes, it was in June and July. You won the World Cup for the club, so it is quite interesting. And I look at the odds. They just don't know how to predict. They basically are saying there's 4 teams they think have a strong chance. You bet 100 on Bayern Munich and they win it, you get 700 back. You bet 100 on Man City, you get 500 back. PSG, you bet 100, you get 450. Real Madrid, you get 400. If you bet 100, you win 400. So, there's no insane favorite. When we look at Ballon d'Or, when we look at stuff like that, we have some favorites to the level that if you bet 100, you won't even make more than 100 back because they're that favored. So it's good to keep that in mind. When we look at the lesser odds, you've got Chelsea at 5. I would fancy that. I think Inter Milan would have a better chance and Atletico than Chelsea. I would probably swap that around, but I still think Chelsea have a chance. And then you got Juve, Dortmund, Palmeiras, Flamengo, and Benfica. No Porto on here, so they have Benfica over Porto. But, we would expect probably one of those teams in the top 7 to win. Guys, look, I'm probably going to be doing a couple reactions to the Club World Cup. At first, I was kind of looking at this saying, hey, man, maybe this is a throw-off tournament. I'm excited. We have these group stage games. We're going to get to watch the knockouts, which will be probably the more interesting ones. We'll probably do the watch-alongs for that. And that's where it's going to start to get spicy. But look, I think the blessing of this is that we're going to have some football to watch this summer. And I think the unique part about this, the last thing I will say, yes, the prize pool is great. We're getting to see teams from Africa, Asia, right, compete against South American, European teams. Guys, this doesn't happen too often. The only other time this happens is actually at the World Cup. So I look at this. This is a little bit of a warm-up for the World Cup. We get to see it on the club level. We're going to get to see Inter Milan play River. We're going to get to see, the Mamelodi Sundowns play against Dortmund. And, imagine the thrill as the viewer if there's going to be a crazy upset or two. Now, was Auckland City from New Zealand ever going to beat Bayern Munich today? Absolutely not. But you know what? Some of these other teams have shown themselves. We have a couple teams in this we have a couple teams in this competition that did very well in the Asian Champions League, right? So we'll get to see, those teams. How does the level of a team that's been playing really well, the Red Diamonds, Al Hilal, how does that compare to a team that like PSG that have literally just played them and Barcelona, who's not in this unfortunately because of how it worked with the seeding, have played the best football I've seen in years. So that is what I'm excited for. I'm actually excited for more of the obscure matchups. I feel like I can always go and watch a PSG Atletico. I can't always go and watch PSG take an MLS team 10-0, you know? So that's something I think I'm appreciating the uniqueness of it. And let me know who you guys think is going to win. I don't even know. And I look at this, the team that I think is probably has the best overall chance is PSG. Like, unless these guys turn up and are acting like they're on vacation, I would say PSG, Man City, and Bayern. Man City and Bayern I would put on the same level of odds. I think they are second tied, and I would put Real Madrid third with maybe Inter Milan fourth. I think Inter Milan is a little bit of a sleeper odds-wise. I think they're going to be looking to redeem. And a Club World Cup is a cool thing to say at the end of the day. So let me know your thoughts, guys, on a Club World Cup. I wanted to do an intro video. We'll probably have some reactions this week to some of the games. Maybe I'll do because I'm going to have them in the background when I'm streaming or, I'm in the gym, whatever. I'm going to be watching them. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do like day reactions of some of the games if we have a good day of games. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I do want to cover it. I want to talk about it. And let me know your thoughts, guys. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win? I'm going to be boring and say PSG. I'm going to be boring. I'm going to take PSG because they're playing football at another level than anyone else. So I'm going to go with them. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.